The 200-yard medley relay, the NCAA United States records held jointly by Stanford, set in 1992. The pool record set way back by the great Texas team in 1987. The lane assignments, top to bottom, lane 8 being top, SMU, Minnesota, Southern Cal, Georgia, Auburn, Stanford, Michigan, and UCLA in lane 1.
Watch for Stanford to get out to an early lead. Catherine Fox, the Olympian, a gold medalist in 400 free relay, will lead this team off. She has a fabulous underwater kick in her 50 backstroke. Auburn, this is a key for them. Ann Wengler will lead off in the 50 backstroke. She won't be as close to Catherine Fox, so the rest of her team is going to need to make up for that early Stanford lead. Chris, I also want to keep an eye out for Georgia. Right now they are 4th in the team race, but they are only 3 points behind SMU. A win here would be huge for them.
4 strokes, 8 laps of the pool. Let's take a look at the stroke order quickly. They'll start with a backstroke, breast, fly, and free. Once again, lane 8, top of your screen.
200 medley relay. Take your mark.
Clean start. Keep your eye on Stanford's Catherine Fox.
Catherine Fox missed her turn this morning, which is why Stanford is not seated first. Look for her to have a solid turn and get off the wall well. Notice how she turns to her side as she does the dolphin kick and swims faster underwater than any of the other swimmers in the pool.
Catherine Fox in the lead in lane 3, and lane 1 Southern Methodist right behind.
Lane number 3, Ellen Osteval. Lane number 4 for Auburn. Anamika McReynolds, a very strong breaststroker.
Stanford continues to lead, followed by Auburn and Georgia.
Christy Kowal for Georgia looks very strong. Her turnover is a little bit faster than Ellen Osteval from Stanford, and it's getting her into the wall.
Georgia has the lead now. Georgia in lane 5.
Lisa Kuhl, she was the NCAA champion in the 100 butterfly, is swimming the 50 here now for Georgia.
And Mimi Bowen making up a lot of ground in lane 4. It's Georgia, Auburn, and Stanford, lanes 5, 4, and 3. Now also coming on, Southern Cal in lane 6. Karen Campbell swinging a strong leg.
Great start for Auburn. Katie Taylor had a fantastic start, really quick off the blocks.
Georgia in lane 6 with a slight lead. Now Auburn taking the lead on the apron. It's Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor from Auburn is going to win it. In second place, I believe, Georgia. And then I think Stanford getting up to get third.
139.57. That breaks the pool record. Doesn't quite break the U.S. or NCAA record, but a big win. A big win for this team. They look very excited. And Chris, this is really a testimony to Dave Marsh from Auburn. If you notice there at the very end of the race, Katie Taylor coming on. This is just all heart as she takes the lead from the very start and holds on. This is a team that's building and to watch out in the next couple years.
Also a very, very strong third leg by Mimi Bowen. So the team of Ann Wenglarski, Anamika McReynolds, Mimi Bowen, and Katie Taylor, they finished first in the 200-yard medley relay. The final results of the 200-yard medley relay: Auburn wins it, Georgia gets second, Stanford finishes third. More of the NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships after this. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Swimming and Diving Championships here in Indiana. Let's now take a look at some of the meet's early highlights. Arizona kicking it off with a wire-to-wire win in the 200-yard free.
Senior Ashley Tappan anchors the relay and wins it for the Wildcats with a 129.56.
USC's Lindsay Benko also went wire-to-wire to defend her 500-yard free title.
With a time of 4:41.85, Benko goes faster than she did last year. Very tired, but very happy with that race.
There was a new pool record set in the 200 IM final. A great battle between USC's Kristen Quantz and SMU's Martina Moritsova.
Moritsova passed Quantz on the freestyle and goes the second fastest time in history with a 1:55.81.
In the 50 free, Stanford's Catherine Fox swam the third fastest time in history.
Freshman Olympian wins her first NCAA title in a 22.01 seconds.
Important points on the board for Stanford. Fox winning out of lane 5. So Catherine Fox destined to be one of the greats.
And she gets a big congratulatory hug from her head coach, Richard Quick.
The second pool record of the evening came in the 400-yard medley relay. The Mustangs were smoking.
SMU's Maritsova surpassed USC in the final leg of the 100 freestyle and winning the race for the Mustangs with a 3:35.98.
So a big win for SMU, followed by USC and Georgia. Oh, yeah. So the Nike points after 6 events, Stanford on top with 132 points, 7.5 ahead of Arizona, SMU, Georgia, and USC rounding out the top 5. Stay with us. The 100-yard butterfly is next. Some of the great names in the history of United States swimming. Part of that, the 1996 Olympic team, and going back to the 1992 Olympic team, and then all the way back to 1984, the greatest swimmer of them all, my partner, Mary Waite.
It's a long time ago, but I remember it well.
All right, set for the 100-yard butterfly, the NCAA and U.S. Open records held by the great Chrissy Amon-Layton, Arizona star of 1992. The pool record, 51.81. That could go in this one, held by Jenny Thompson of Stanford, set in 1994. The lane assignments, top to bottom. Teague in lane 8, Panaghetti, Campbell, Bowen, DePaul, Amy, Rose, and Cool.
Keep your eye on Rochelle DePaul from North Carolina, a junior. She tied for 3rd in the 50 free earlier, which means she has a lot of speed. She swims on top of the water. Next to her in lane number 5 is Mimi Bowen from Auburn. Now, Mimi is what you call kind of a momentum swimmer, and she was part of that medley relay that won earlier this evening, so she has momentum on her side. Look for her to swim most of the race underwater, and she is fired up. Jessica Amy from Stanford, a Canadian record holder in the 100-meter fly. She went her lifetime best this morning, so look for another lifetime best this evening.
Ladies, please step up.
Once again, lane 8 at the top of your screen. This will be 4 lengths of the
100
pool.
butterfly. Take your mark.
Remember, lane number 5, Mimi Bowen from Auburn, swims most of the race underwater because she swims faster underwater.
And she is out very, very quickly. Mimi Bowen, the freshman from Auburn, grew up in Jackson, Mississippi. Followed closely by Rochelle DePaul, the junior from North Carolina.
Underwater there, you can see Mimi Bowen, great dolphin kick, strong legs. She gets those strong legs from her father, who was a fullback for Archie Manning at Ole Miss.
25 yards to go. Bowen still with a slight lead, followed by DePaul. Here comes Jessica Amy, the freshman from Stanford in lane 3. Also in lane 6, Karen Campbell from Southern Cal, and it's going to be Bowen, the winner.
Momentum on her side, Mimi Bowen. That gives her 2 NCAA titles tonight. 200 medley relay, and now with a 100-yard butterfly. And her entire team is standing behind her block because they're so fired up for her. That's a big win for this young freshman. Great finish for Mimi Bowen. She never let up, and I was impressed particularly with how much she could, how far she could swim underwater and still have a fantastic finish like this. Chris, this means she's in great shape. Great turns there. We can see her underwater leading. Watch underwater. You can see Bowen still underwater as everybody else is up, and that kick with the undulating dolphin kick made a difference for her.
Results of the 100-yard butterfly, Mimi Bowen, 52.05, just 3/10 off the NCAA record. North Carolina's Rochelle DePaul 2nd, Jessica Amy, Stanford 3rd. Ready for the 200-yard freestyle. Not only does Nicole Hazlett hold all the records you're looking at, she won this event as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior all 4 years while she was at Florida. The lane assignments top to bottom. Lane 8 being on the top. Windsor, Jesperson, Black, Shakespeare, Morozova, Benko, Klein, and Tappan in lane 1.
Chris, there is agreement on the pool deck that this record by Nicole Hazlett is now threatened by Morozova. She is apparently untouchable, according to all of the coaches. Look for a very fast first 100. Next to her, Shannon Shakespeare, freshman at Michigan, a 96 Olympian for Canada. She was third in the 200 individual medley earlier. She's a good relay swimmer, but she's really going to have to get up for this race. And then Lindsey Benko from USC. She won the 500 freestyle earlier in the meet, but Chris, she's really going to have to get after it if she wants to be in this race.
Step up, please.
So here we go. This will be 8 laps of the pool. 200-yard free. Looking for a fast time here. Lane 8 at the top of the pool.
Ladies, 200 yards, freestyle. Take your mark.
In lane 4, it's Martina Morozova, the Slovakian Olympian. She has the early lead. This SMU Mustang wearing the orange cap, followed very closely by Lindsey Benko and Shannon Shakespeare.
And Morozova was out on a 50 point this morning. She's looking to do the same again. She said that she feels it's possible to break that U.S. Open record of 143.28. She thinks it's possible tonight.
Morozova with a big lead in lane 4.
She has such a beautiful stroke. Chris, this was my event as an Olympian, and I love the strategy in this event because the key right here now is the third 50. This is where people tend to back off, and this morning, Morozova actually backed off herself. She's got to build right here if she wants to break that U.S. Open record.
Martina Morozova with a comfortable lead. The sophomore from SMU. It's a 5-way battle for second place. Morozova turning for home now.
And Morozova out in a 50.16. Great swim. She's building into the wall, and now she has 50 yards to go.
Morozova, 2 lengths of the pool.
Ahead of U.S. Open record, 1:16.70 at the 150. You can see her throwing in her kick now, and she still has a very smooth and commanding stroke.
Lindsey Benko now in second place. Shannon Shakespeare, Kim Black, and Michelle Jesperson giving chase. But it's Martina Morozova.
Morozova a little deep on that last turn, but still building it into the wall. She looks great.
Martina Morozova, she will touch 143.08. And if that holds up, it's a new NCAA and U.S. Open record. They said this pool was fast, and in the 200 free it was.
Thank you. And we just received that the board is good. Those results are official, and there she is, Morozova coming in on the final leg and just driving into the wall. And boy, when she touches that wall, she means it.
Martina, what a fabulous race. Mary Waite talked about how important that third 50 is. Were you going for the record or just the win?
I went for the record. That was my goal. Because at the conference, I went for it too, but I wasn't rested enough. And I felt great. So this was just great time and great opportunity to break the record. And I'm very, very happy that I did it.
Did you have a specific strategy with your coach Steve talked about before the race?
I knew that I had to go out fast, and since I've got the initial speed naturally, just hold the second half, and that was it.
Well, it was a fabulous finish. We appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
2 NCAA titles for Martina Morozova of SMU. Lindsey Benko, Southern Cal, finishes second, and Ashley Tappan third. We'll have more after this. The 100-yard breaststroke, all 3 records held by the great Polish star of yesteryear, Beata Kasuba, who swam for Arizona State. The lane assignments, top to bottom. In lane 8, McReynolds, Balcerzak in lane 7, Kowal, Hagener, Russell, Eder, McClellan, and Terry Miller in lane 1.
Lane number 4, Julia Russell, has been living in the shadow of her former teammate Penny Haynes, who won gold medals in the Olympics in the 100 and 200 breaststroke. She's told me she wants to win here. Gretchen Hagener, a junior from Minnesota, is a rookie. She didn't swim year-round until college, and Chris, I'm told by her teammates, she can squat 315 pounds. Watch for strong legs with this young lady. And then finally in lane number 3, Lindsay Eder, a junior out of UCLA from Houston.
So here we go, 4 lengths of the pool.
Julia Russell just returned from South Africa 4 days
100
ago.
breaststroke.
She was 3rd in this event last year.
Take your mark.
Start so critical. And up first in lane 5, it's Gretchen Hagener.
Hagener looks very good. Again, the key for her is the strength in her legs. Watch for her to get off the wall very well and her kick to be very strong. At this point, she looks really, really good.
Gretchen Hagener in the yellow cap. Right beside her, just above her, Christy Kowal, the freshman from Georgia, with a good, powerful surge. They are running 1 and 2. Julia Russell in 3rd, followed by Lindsay Eder.
And Kowal is swimming very well between the walls, but can't seem to reach Hagener off the walls. Watch Hagener as she goes into this wall. Now watch as she comes off this wall. She gets so far ahead of her competition.
Gretchen Hagener in the yellow cap, heading for home.
And Hagener's turnover seems to be catching her up.
And here comes Christy Kowal. Christy Kowal, the freshman from Georgia. And unofficially, Hagener has won it.
1:00:32. Great swim, a pool record.
A driving finish as they come off the wall here, Mary.
And not only this, what's unusual about this young lady is she did not swim year-round until college. Last year she was 6th in this event, and now it's just all fun to her. She didn't even feel the pressure of this.
Final results of the 100-yard breaststroke. A new pool record for Gretchen Hagener. Christy Kowal finishes 2nd. Lindsay Eder 3rd. Ready for the 100-yard backstroke. All 3 records you're looking at held by Stanford's Leah Lovelace. The lane assignments: top to bottom, Crow, Knapp, Ron, Fox, Oberstar, Chang, Giddings, and Atkins in lane 1.
Remember, Catherine Fox had the fastest 50 backstroke in the 200 medley relay earlier this evening.
100-yard backstroke. Take your mark.
4 lengths of the pool. Keep your eyes on lanes 4 and 5. And up quickly in lane 5, the freshman from Stanford, Catherine Fox.
Catherine Fox, great underwater swimmer, very strong off the walls as well. She was a little slow this morning because her back was out of whack, and a chiropractor fixed that this afternoon.
A double gold medalist at the 1996 Olympics in 2 relays for the United States. Catherine Fox is churning now. Fox being followed by Leah Oberstar, the sophomore from SMU. And in lane 3, it's Marilyn Chang from California.
And Fox out in 25-28, a dominating first 50. And she is what we call a big meat swimmer. The bigger the meat, the better her swim.
Fox heading for home. Catherine Fox. Now here comes Leah Oberstar with a late push. Also Marilyn Chang. They're side by side. And unofficially, Fox wins it, followed by Chang, who gets up to get 2nd. And Oberstar nudged to 3rd.
And Catherine Fox gets her hand on the wall 6/100ths of a second faster than Chang from Cal. It was a great finish there. You notice that Catherine Fox started to die just a little bit. That may have been because she was underwater so long, but the key is that she threw her arm over the wall with that dolphin kick at the end, and that 6/100ths of a second makes her the champion in this event. Underwater, she is so fabulous. She dominates underwater.
Final results of the 100-yard backstroke. Stanford's Catherine Fox with the win. Marilyn Chang of Cal finishes 2nd. Leah Oberstar in 3rd. The 8 finalists here at the NCAA Championship, 3-meter diving. as we get set for the final 2 rounds. And we're going to join Doris Glenn Easterly. After 9 dives, she is in 3rd place, just 1 point out of 2nd. She has been a surprise.
Well, she had a tough time in the preliminaries. She almost didn't make these finals. She was the last qualifier. She was 8th place after the prelims and semifinals. But she's had a pretty good final up until this point. They've done 4 of their final dives already. And she is 1 point behind 2nd and just barely holding on to 3rd because the 4th place person is only 1 point behind her. Her dive is a reverse 1.5 with 2.5 twist. It's her highest degree of difficulty dive, 2.9. She did a good job going in the water straight on this dive, but as she came off the diving board, she bent her knees just slightly, and there will be a little bit of a deduction for this break there. Right as she came off the diving board, just a little break in the knees. But the dive is done well above the diving board, so it's nice height, but there would be a flaw because of that little break.
Mostly 6s, 52.20 is the score. Here now is Dorta Lindner. She's 5'5", a sophomore, grew up in Weingarten, Germany, currently in 4th place. A member of the 1996 German national team, but did not compete in Atlanta because of an illness.
Actually, it was her back. She had a very bad back, almost had surgery, and at the last minute decided against surgery in 1996. A very strong jump off the diving board, but it moves a little bit too far out in the middle of the pool. The trajectory is so important in diving. You have to be proper distance from the diving board, or it's difficult to make the rotations. And we see as she moves through the air, she's moving further and further away from the diving board. That makes it difficult for her to complete the 1.5 somersault there. There will be a deduction for that.
52.20, a 5 up to 6. Here is the 5'5" freshman from the University of Texas, Laura Wilkinson, currently in 2nd place. She needs a big dive.
She needs a big dive because this is a low degree of difficulty dive for her. She needs to receive 7.5s or above to stay in the top 3. A very beautiful back 1.5, but just with 1.5 twists. That's why it's a lower 2.4 degree of difficulty. And as she leaves the board, she wraps up the twist, stays very tight in the knees. That's gorgeous. Looks at the water, grabs her hands, goes in without much splash. This is a very well-performed dive, but it's more of a basic dive than it is a difficult optional dive.
Well, she got 7s and some 7.5s, a total of 50.4. And here is our leader, Vera Ilina, 23-year-old from Moscow, Russia. She's 5'3", 112 pounds, and a terrific diver.
Overwhelming favorite. She has been winning competitions since she went to the University of Texas in January by 50 points plus. She's the 1-meter winner, and I expect her to win the 3-meter this event also. She was 7th place in Barcelona Olympics, 6th place in Barcelona, 7th in Atlanta, and I think she's a better diver now than she was in Atlanta in the Olympic Games. Her 10th round dive is a forward 3.5 somersault tuck. She's the only woman doing a 3.5 somersault, a forward 3.5 somersault in this contest. It is a very difficult dive. It carries a 2.8 degree of difficulty, but most of the women do a 2.5 somersault, not a 3.5, and she's already got a huge lead, over 50 points on the field. Oh, it's a little short of vertical. She's having a little trouble getting the rotations completed this evening in this final. It's still enough to keep her well in 1st place, but this dive was very, very beautiful on the end of the diving board. But look, she leaves the dive short of vertical. She kicks out too early. As she comes off the diving board, the dive is perfect. Look, her knees are together, the tuck is beautiful, but she goes in the water without hitting the vertical position as an entry.
The judges agree, all 6s for Vera Ilina. Here's a look at our leaders after 10 dives. Vera Ilina from Texas, the leader. Doris Glenn Easterly in 2nd, and Laura Wilkinson has moved into 3rd. Start of the final round. Doris Glenn Easterly, the junior from Miami, and the pressure on her right now, currently in 2nd place.
Her last dive is a back 1.5 somersault with 2.5 twists. It is such a tight race right now. She is in second, but third place is less than 1 point behind her. So is fourth place. She's going to have to wait and see what everybody else does. So she's in a position to put pressure on the divers that follow her. And again, as she comes off the diving board on this twisting dive, she has just a little bit of bend in her knees. And that's the only thing I really see that the judges would take off an entire point for, because she does a good job otherwise. A little bit too much splash going in the water, but that would keep her from getting the 8s.
58.80 for Doris Glenn Easterly. So now she sits and waits. Dorte Linder's final dive. She's in fourth place, but less than a point out of third.
Actually, out of second place, she's less than a point. So she's doing 1/10 degree of difficulty less than Doris Glenn Easterly. She needs 8s and above to expect to be a second place contender. She needs those 8s and some 8.5s also if she wants to beat Doris Glenn Easterly. Oh no, that won't work. Her hips went back from the diving board. She was very low as she came out of the tuck position. It's an inward 2.5 somersault. And it's not all that difficult to dive, but look how far away she is from the diving board, and she goes in the water with a pike, a bend at the waist. That's what a pike position is, just a bend at the waist with the legs straight. So that is a deficient dive.
Scores for her ranging from 5.5 to 6.5, a 48.60. Here is Texas's Laura Wilkinson. She's currently in third place. If she gets 59.15, she needs a big dive and she can move right into second place.
Well, I love this contest because it's so tight for second place right now. Laura Wilkinson's teammate, Vera Ilina, is winning. She would like nothing more than to take second alongside Vera Ilina. That's a great dive. 7.5s will give her second place over Doris Glenn Easterly. She has to get mostly 7.5s. It's not gonna be enough because she twisted. She crossed her feet in that twist. She crossed her feet. I thought it was really good until I saw the feet cross. Look at that. In the twist, she loses her feet. They separate a bit and then cross. She's going to get more 6.5s than she is 7s.
So disappointing scores for Laura Wilkinson, still having a great competition. And now Vera Ilina.
Her last dive I consider to be her best dive. I love watching her do this dive. It's very smooth. It's a reverse 1.5 somersault with 2.5 twist. I've seen her receive 9s on it previously. It's a high degree of difficulty dive, 2.9. Matt Scoggin, her coach at the University of Texas, says he's taught her how to spot the water, which she didn't know when she came to the University of Texas. She's obviously the winner. That was a wonderful last round dive. I think it's the highest scoring dive of the night. I really like this takeoff. Look, right over the board. She's very bold. She looks at the water, and that's what Matt's taught her how to do. See the water and stretch for where she looks. And I think that is fabulous. She says she's not very good at it yet. I think she's an expert.
Vera Ilina, big scores for the 5'3" diver originally from Moscow, Russia. You're looking at the final standings of 3-meter springboard diving. Texas's Vera Ilina wins it going away by a whopping 59 points. Let's go down to the pool deck and Mary Waite. Mary?
Vera, being from Russia, NCAA competition has to be a little bit different for you. What is it like having swimming and diving combined?
I've never dove for the team, like the whole team, and it's like a challenge for me to dive to help everybody to win, and it's very different from what I was doing before.
As you were about to win your second NCAA title here tonight, what was going through your mind on that very last dive?
I knew that I would win very easily because I had a huge in my points, and I just needed to do my dive like I do it on practice.
And Matt, what's it like to finally have an NCAA champion for yourself?
It's great. You know, we worked really hard to get Vera to Austin. It was not easy. We went through many obstacles, and it was well worth it. Vera's a great addition to the team. She's got a great attitude and has really helped out her teammates. Laura, as you saw, has really improved a lot because of Vera, I think.
So important team points for the University of Texas head coach Matt Scoggin and his star Vera Elena. Chris Marlowe, Mary Waite back in Indy. Let's now take a look at the finishes of two important races. First, the 400-yard individual medley. USC's Christine Quant, she came in as a big favorite, and she was dominating.
And she demonstrates why she's a defending champion in this event. She won the event by over 6 seconds and going a lifetime best 4:06.54.
Christine Quant's the runaway winner for the USC Trojans. Then it was the 800-yard freestyle relay. Stanford and Southern Methodist came in as the two top qualifiers, but SMU just blew the field away.
Martina Maratsova broke the U.S. Open record in the 200 freestyle earlier in the competition and turns out the fastest 200 split here to win it for her SMU teammates with a 7:09.92.
Leah Oberstar, Katie McClellan, Catherine Inskeet, and Martina Maratsova, the four Mustangs in the pool. And happy teammates they are. So SMU won an important one, the 800 free relay. The points after 14 events, Stanford still leads by 15.5 points. The USC Trojans charging now. They've moved up to second. SMU still in third. Georgia in fourth. Meanwhile, the Arizona Wildcats have dropped down to fifth. Michigan in sixth. Auburn, Nebraska, Cal, and Texas. We'll have more swimming and diving from Indy after this. Some of the funky fans here in Indy. They are upbeat. They are rooting on their teams. Zealous, dedicated fans, and they are getting set for what should be a great race. The 200-yard backstroke. The NCAA and U.S. Open and pool records all held by Whitney Hedgepeth. And let's take a look at the lane assignments. Campy in lane 8, Atkins in 7, Chang, Benko, Oberstar, Giddings, Knapp, and Brooks.
Keep your eye on lane number 5, Lindsay Benko from USC. She's the defending champion in this event. She swims the event very strong on the second half. Her competition, both of these swimmers are from Indiana. Leah Oberstar from SMU. Leah Oberstar is the American record holder in the 200-meter backstroke, and she was second last year to Benko. So a great matchup here.
Lane 8 at the top of your pool. 8 lengths of the pool.
Place your feet. Ladies, 200-yard backstroke. Take your mark.
Keep your eyes on lane 4 and 5. Leah Oberstar in lane 4 off to a very good start. Neck and neck with Lindsay Benko. Marilyn Chang, lane 6, also from Cal, right in the neck.
Chang has a beautiful stroke. She swims high on the water. She's in lane number 6 at the top of the screen. Leah Oberstar, she swims a very fast first 100. So look for her to get out very quickly. But Benko swims a great second half.
Leah Oberstar in the red cap has a slight lead on Lindsay Benko. Marilyn Chang in lane 6 is there. And making a move now in lane 7, the Georgia sophomore Amanda Atkins.
Amanda Atkins looking great, sophomore. She's got very good underwater on top of the water, but she can't see the competition as well as the middle of the pool. Leah Oberstar holding on to that lead.
It's Leah Oberstar in lane 4 and Amanda Atkins in lane 7. Oberstar with a slight lead.
And
Here comes Benko.
And this is where Lindsay Benko is strongest. She's best underwater in the second half of the race, but Leah Oberstar, I talked to her coach Steve Collins from SMU, and he said she really wants to win this. She was very upset about winning or losing the 100 backstroke.
Leah Oberstar from nearby Fort Wayne, Indiana. Lindsay Benko from Elkhart, Indiana. And they are 1-2 at the moment. They are on American record pace as as Oberstar continues to lead.
And USC coach Mark Schubert did say this race would come down to the last 25, and here we are at the final turn, looking to see who's going to win this race.
25 meters to go. Leah Oberstar, Lindsey Banco in lanes 4 and 5, neck and neck as they head for the wall. Oberstar and Banco. And unofficially, Lindsey Banco is going to win it.
She looks surprised. That was a great swim, 154.42 for Lindsey Banco. She's primarily known for her distance freestyle, and it paid off here because she was able to come back that last 100 and get into the wall.
And a disappointing second for Leah Oberstar, in control most of the race, but then Lindsey Banco able to make up some ground.
She's a tough one at that very end of the race in the 500 and right here in the 200 backstroke. Watch what she does. Throws her arm into it, in her back as well, and that made a difference. Her last 25 was phenomenal.
So Lindsey Banco picks up much-needed points for USC. Her first-place finish, and the results, Hope Giddings also gets some points. Southern Cal with 36 points in the 200-yard backstroke. Banco, Oberstar, Marilyn Chang from Cal gets third. This could be the best race of the meet, the 100-yard freestyle. Stanford's Jenny Thompson holds all 3 records for this event. Let's take a look at the lane assignments quickly. Kobelson in lane 8, DePaul, Shakespeare, Fox, Morozova, Tappan, Sheely, and Taylor in lane 1.
Morozova won the 200 IM and the 200 freestyle. She has to be careful not to circle swim. This could add significant tense to this race. Catherine Fox next to her from Stanford has won the 50 and the 100 backstroke. This means both ladies have won 2 individual events. The winner of this event will be the only person from this championship to win 3 events.
Also keep your eye on lane 6, Shannon Shakespeare, the 1996 Canadian Olympian. Big race for Catherine Fox. Her Stanford team needs points.
100 freestyle.
Needs to win the events they are expected to win. Getting pressure now from the University of Southern Cal.
Martina last off the blocks.
And it is Catherine Fox, the Stanford freshman, up last, but in first place as they take the first turn.
Chris, that dive just killed Martina. She was the very last person off the block. She has a lot of distance to make up.
Right now in lane 7, Rochelle DePaul, the junior from North Carolina, is in second place, and now Martina Morozova starting to make up some time. It's Catherine Fox from Stanford with the lead in lane 5.
Fox looks like she's tiring just a little bit, but she's great underwater.
Morozova coming on. She's in the lane next door, lane 4. Now Morozova starting to hum. Morozova has taken a slight lead. Fox in lane 5. Shannon Shakespeare coming on, but it's going to be Martina Morozova, and SMU wins it.
48.18 for Martina Morozova, and that is her 3rd win at this meet. The only swimmer to win 3 events at this competition during this NC2As, and a very, very happy swimmer. Morozova shocked me. She came on the last 25 to touch out Catherine Fox, and not only that, she did it with 1 to 2 arm lengths ahead, which is very unusual in the 100 freestyle. Her start, she is the absolute last person off the block. I'm shocked that she was able to catch up Fox and pass her, but this demonstrates what a great freestyler she truly is.
SMU wins it. Martina Morozova. Oh, yeah. So the Mustangs get 20 much-needed points. University of Michigan, Shannon Shakespeare gets up to get second. Catherine Fox falls to third.
Tired right now because she just returned from South Africa from the Nationals, but she has been looking to win this event for 4 years now.
Christy Kowal has the lead. In second is Christine Quantz making a move. Up in lane 7 is the UCLA junior, Lindsay Etter, as Kowal in the white cap continues to lead Quantz. Now making a move in lane 3 is Julia Russell, the senior from Nebraska. She has moved up to third as Etter drops back.
And Julia Russell, I mentioned before, she's been looking to win this. She has been overshadowed by her Nebraska teammate Penelope Haynes, who owns the U.S. Open record in this event and won gold medal in the Olympics in the 100 and 200 breaststroke.
Christine Quance starting to assert herself. Quance in lane 4, the defending champion in this event. And now here comes Julia Russell of Nebraska. The senior making a move on Quance now.
Christine Quance, this is the strength in her event, is the back half of the race. You can see her turnover, compare it to Julia Russell, who's also now starting to make her move, but it may be too late, Chris, because Christine Quance is very strong on the back half.
Christine Quance leading. Julia Russell is second. And Christy Kowal is third. Quance. And Quance is going to win it.
Christine Quance finishes up a fantastic collegiate career. The senior from USC wins her second event here, the 200 breaststroke, and the finish of all of her races is really the key. There you can see her in the middle of the lane with the black cap, and this is where she really shines, Chris.
And unofficially, that is a new pool record. 2:09.82, breaking the record of 2:10.69 held by Quance.
And you can see Quance just diving into the water for that wall to finish out a very successful collegiate career.
Let's go down to Cynthia Potter.
Christine, every race is so critical at this time. Did you and Coach Schubert discuss this?
No, we didn't. I mean, there was nothing to discuss. You know, I knew I had to go out and win it, and didn't care about the time or anything else. Or how much it hurt, but I just need to get my hand on the wall first.
Absolutely. I also know that you've had a wonderful career at USC. Reflect on that for a moment, if you can.
Oh my gosh, I can't even explain. I'll probably start crying if I do, but I mean, I never thought swimming was a team sport until I came to USC, and this team has been so great, and you know, I've grown the last 4 years with them, and we really wanted to end it on a good note today.
Looks like it's going to happen. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The final results, Christine Quance picks up 20 points for the Trojans. Julia Russell from Nebraska finishes second, and Christy Kowal from Georgia third. A quick look at the current point standings. USC has taken over the top spot. The USC Trojans now ahead of Stanford. Set now for the 200-yard butterfly. The NCAA pool records held by Stanford's Summer Sanders. Interestingly, Mary T. Maher set the U.S. Open record way back in 1981 at 152.99. The lanes from top to bottom to Sylvia, Panaghetti, Tedisco, Oberstar, Jackson, Campbell, Carnes, and Bowen.
Leah Oberstar from SMU finished second in the backstroke not too long ago, so it's going to be a tough double for her, but she's got a good shot at the title.
200 butterfly. Take your mark.
USC with 2 racers in this swim. And one of them is out very quickly. Karen Campbell, the sophomore from Southern Cal.
Campbell was fourth in the 100 butterfly, so she will be out quick. The question is, can she hold on to win the 200 fly? And right now, the SC girls are really, really fired up because they're in a great team race with Stanford, and they've topped out just right now.
Karen Campbell with a very fine split. The sophomore has the lead now. Being chased by Leah Oberstar. Now Oberstar moving into the lead.
And Oberstar, we just saw her swim, and she doesn't really have any excuse for being tired when Trina Jackson next to her just swam the mile. So, but it is unusual for an athlete to swim 2 events back-to-back.
Oberstar leads in lane 5. Campbell second in lane 3. And way up in lane 8, having a good swim at the moment, Tori DeSilvia, the Tennessee junior who was second last year in this event. She's in third. Also Mimi Bowen, the Auburn freshman, pushing now in lane 1.
And Oberstar touches first, 55.46 at the halfway point.
Oberstar, lane 5, and Campbell in lane 3. Trina Jackson trailing in lane 4.
Karen Campbell, SC, Leah Oberstar, SMU. They're both looking to score big team points. They both of these teams want to pass Stanford for the team title.
Lane 6, Jean Ellis Tedisco, and in lane 1, Mimi Bowen fighting for third, but the race right now, Karen Campbell and Leah Oberstar.
And Campbell looks like she's tying up just a little bit. Her stroke is shortening just a little bit, and if she gets home first, it'll be on just sheer guts alone.
They head for home. Karen Campbell, USC, Leah Oberstar. SMU, the neck and neck. Oberstar, Campbell. And Oberstar unofficially is the winner.
And that has to be a great feeling for Oberstar because she got second in the 100 back, second in the 200 back, events that she considers are really her own. And here she is. She came into the 200 fly, a great team player for the Mustangs, and won the event. She came in at the end, and this was just really a lot of heart. You could see her just barely passing from USC. You could barely see her passing Campbell. Campbell tightened up a little bit. At the bottom of your screen, you could see her strokes getting a little bit short, but Oberstar, nice and tall, long strokes, and throws her head over, and that big last kick got her hand into the wall first.
Great swim race for the teams chasing Stanford. Leah Oberstar scores 20 for SMU. Karen Campbell finishes second, and Jean Ellis Tedisco with a closing rush. Another Trojan finishing third. So the USC Trojans pick up 33 points in the 200-yard butterfly. All right, stay with us. The NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships will continue. Platform diving is next. Moving along to platform diving are 8 finalists. Laura Wilkinson, currently the leader from Texas. Here is Kristen Link from Southern Methodist University, her 11th dive. She's a 5'7" freshman who grew up in Springfield, Virginia.
And she moved from 6th place in round 9 to 4th place in the last round. And there's only 7 points between Kristen and the 2nd place right now. She is in 4th place. It's a reverse 2.5 somersaults tuck, 2.7 degree of difficulty. Very, very nice. That should continue to move her up. She missed the dive in the preliminaries earlier, but she doesn't miss it this evening. This is a beautiful dive. Look at the way she goes in the water. So vertical without an arch in her back, and the takeoff is very bold. Her knees just slightly separated in the air, but the dive is worth a lot of points, maybe even some 8s.
Mostly 7.5 and an 8, a total of 60.75 for Kristen Link. Here is Dana Bly from Alabama, 21 years old, the SEC record holder for the platform event. 3rd in this event last year, so she's got some experience.
And she's terrific. She's going to do a forward 3.5 somersault tuck. Again, this contest is so tight. There's only 10 points separating 2nd place and 6th place. Dana currently in 6th place. Running forwards down the platform and spinning around 3.5 times to see the water out in front of her for hopefully a vertical entry without a splash. It's a good dive. She could have been tighter in her tuck. She was grabbing the top of her knees in her tuck. That's a little bit dangerous because sometimes when you grab up there, your hands can slip off the knees and you can come out of the tuck, but she handles it very well. I think she could have received higher scores by grabbing lower around her ankles and getting in a tighter tuck, but it's a beautiful dive. The women are diving very nicely.
7s and 7.5s, a total of 59.40. And now here is Stanford's Megan Gardner, NCAA runner-up on platform a year ago.
And her 11th round dive, next to last dive, is an inward 2.5 somersault pike. Now she hit the 3-meter springboard with her head in this NCAA's, and this is another inward spinning somersault. You can believe she's going to jump it back far enough not to scare herself and not to hit that ponytail on the platform either. That was a beautifully done dive. Very courageous. She didn't jump back too far, which is the tendency after you hit the board on something. And she hit the springboard yesterday, grazed the top of her head. But look at the verticalness of this dive. And the way she goes after the jump is very impressive. It's so important to jump high off the platform, even though you're way up in the air.
Good scores for Gardner, 7.5s and 8s, a total of 65.80. Miami's Tammy Christensen up next. Recently turned 22 years old, the 4-time Big East platform champion.
Tammy's doing an inward 2.5 somersault pike also, the one we just saw Megan Gardner do. And she was in second place after the last round, so she needs to surpass 529 points to keep herself in second place, because Megan Gardner moved into second place. That dive wasn't as good as Megan Gardner's. One reason was because the jump wasn't as relaxed and as high off the platform. And the other reason was the entry into the water. See where she went down instead of up as she left the platform? And the entry, look, the splash going in the water. That will probably prevent her from getting 7s on this dive.
Yes, just below 6s, ranging up to 1.7, 53.20 for Tammy Christensen. Laura Wilkinson, freshman from Spring, Texas, 1997 Big 12 conference champion on platform. She has been diving beautifully.
Laura really hasn't missed a dive throughout the preliminaries or the first 2 rounds of the finals. This is a reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. It's one of her best dives. Oh, that was definitely a miss. That was a break in position. As she kicked out of the dive, she loosened her knees, bent her knees, and I've never seen Laura do this before. Incredible. She kicked out too early. She realized it, and then she bent her knees because it scared her. It's almost as if I don't want to land on my back. Unfortunate for Laura Wilkinson and very uncharacteristic.
Very low scores, 2.5 up to 4.5, 33.75. So a disappointing dive for Laura Wilkinson. But Wilkinson still in the lead. We'll be back with more after this. The NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We are set for the start of the final round, the 12th dive. SMU's Kristen Link. Link, an Olympic trials finalist in 1996, and she needs a good dive here.
She does. She's only 10 points out of second place. She's doing the same dive that many of the competitors are doing in the last round, a back 1.5 with 2.5 twist. It's a 2.8 degree of difficulty. She's dived beautifully throughout the finals, the best of any competitor. She has received 7s and 8s on every dive she's done and has moved up from 6th to 3rd place. That's going to continue to help her. She puts the pressure on second place Megan Gardner, who is yet to go, by doing a dive like this. Again, receiving 7.5s and 8s, and it's because the rip entry is so dramatic. You see those wrist supports because there's a lot of force as she goes in the water.
So good numbers for SMU's Kristen Link. A total of 64.40 as she hugs her coach, Jim Stilson. Next up, Dana Bly from Alabama.
Dana, 52,
21 years old.
Her final dive is a back 1.5 somersault with 3.5 twists. This is the most difficult dive that's being performed. It's above that magic 3.0 degree of difficulty. It's 3.2. So much twisting in this dive, and it's so difficult to keep this dive square with your legs together because of all that force, twisting around 3.5 times. It was a very good takeoff. The jump was bold. It was assertive. Look, I saw her feet cross just as she left the platform. That's what I'm talking about. It's so difficult. Watch this. The feet are crossed in the air. But look, as she goes in the water, she gets them back together. She's very astute at realizing, well, my feet are twisting the other way from my body, and I need to get them back together. It's a good dive for a 3.2 degree of difficulty.
6.5s for Dana Bly, 62.40 total. Now, here is Stanford's Megan Gardner.
Megan, 52, 35.
Megan's last dive was a back 1.5 somersault with 2.5 twist, and she has an opportunity to go right into second place here, ahead of Kristen Link, if she does this dive for sevens. A couple of 7.5s would help, but she was 10 points ahead of Kristen Link after the last round. Oh, she went over, she got excited. She's still going to contribute points to Stanford's overall total, but I think it was just a little more adrenaline than she needed. All she really wanted to do was stretch for the water out in front of her, and she reaches straight down underneath her, just slightly too much. And again, that somersault goes just slightly past vertical. That's over-rotating on the 1.5.
5.5 up to 6.5, 50-40 for Megan Gardner. That will bring us to Tammy Christensen of the University of Miami.
Tammy is doing another back twister. Like I said, it's a very popular last dive to do. We call it a fairly safe dive because you do see the water before you enter it, not like a back or reverse spinning where you don't see it in the direction that you're spinning until right before you enter it. After she completes the 2.5 twists, she will see the water in front of her. That's the best back twister I've seen. Very good. Kristen Link did a beautiful one, and so has Tammy Christensen. This may put her right into third place because, as we know, Laura Wilkinson, the leader, has not gone yet. But this is a terrific back twister. She's probably just going to be behind Kristen Link because Kristen had some points on her going into this round. But look at this tightness going in the water. Great stretch. She has those wrist supports on because of the force, the impact.
Good scores for Tammy Christensen, 63 points on that dive. So now it will be up to Laura Wilkinson from the University of Texas.
Laura, 52-35.
And all she needs to win an NCAA title as a freshman is 36.21 points. That's all she needs. That translates to about 3s and 1/2s and 4s on the dive. And she does this dive beautifully. That's great. You know, she had a little bit of trouble in the finals, I gotta say. It looks like nerves to me. I don't really know what's going on with Laura because, of course, I'm not there, but it's a beautiful dive, and it's going to win the championship for her. And I love, like I said, the boldness that Laura dives with is very, very beautiful. And there's her coach, Matt Scoggin, giving her a hug. Texas won all 3 diving events.
7 up to 8. Laura Wilkinson from Texas wins the championship. Here's a look at the final results. And let's go down to the deck. Mary Waite is with the winner.
Thanks, Chris. I'm with Laura Wilkinson. Laura, winning this event as a freshman, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I wanted to help the team. I know we've been kind of down, and I hope this is going to help the relay. And I don't know, it's kind of exciting, you know, in front of the family and everything.
And Matt, you've had a sweep, the 1, 3, and 10 meter. What does that mean to you as a young coach?
Everything just fell in place. I mean, everything that we asked for went right like we asked for it. And Laura is one of a kind. She made a couple of errors tonight, but she had a morning that would be hard for anyone to beat. She has a fantastic future.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So the University of Texas dominating the diving events. And we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have the final race for the 1997 NCAA Championships. The 400-yard freestyle is next. The 400-yard freestyle relay, the NCAA and U.S. Open record set by Florida in 1993. The pool record established by Texas in '89. USC, Georgia, Arizona, SMU, Michigan, Stanford,
Ladies,
Auburn,
400
and Nebraska.
yard freestyle
Lane 8,
relay.
the top of your pool.
Take your mark.
Chris, this is a big race for SMU because right now in the point scores, they are just a little bit behind Stanford, about 15 points behind. If they can win this, and if Stanford doesn't place very high, they've got a shot at breaking out in the second place.
In terms of the overall standings, USC has the lead. If USC finishes the race by our computations, SC will win the NCAA championship. Stanford would have to win this race, and USC would have to be disqualified for Stanford to make up the point total difference. 26 down coming into this race.
That's right, and you can guarantee that USC is going to have very safe starts. But for Michigan and for Arizona and for the rest of the crew, look for fast starts. They're still racing for pride here.
Lane 4, Michigan has the early lead. Shannon Shakespeare swimming the second lane for the Wolverines. In lane 3, Stanford. Jessica Amy.
And remember, Shannon Shakespeare was second in the 100 freestyle earlier this evening. She will probably lead this entire event and make a big lead for Michigan.
Michigan, the top qualifying team in lane 4. Shannon Shakespeare cranking at the moment. She leads it.
Shakespeare looks fantastic. She's thrown her kick in. She's kicking with a huge 6-feet kick, and she's widened her lead. This is going to be significant because SMU, anchoring the leg for SMU, is Martina Maretsova, and you can never count her out.
If you're wondering about USC, the Trojans trailing badly at the top of your screen in lane 8. Right now, it's the University of Michigan first. Stanford battling with Arizona for second.
Kim Johnson for Michigan, all she has to do is hold on to the lead because it's so large right now.
Michigan opening up a 2-body length lead. Now starting to make a move is Arizona in lane 6. Stanford's Claudia Franco.
Claudia Franco was the 100 freestyle champion last year. She's starting to make a move on Kim Johnson. And what she wants to do is give Catherine Fox just a little bit of room so that she can catch Michigan.
Michigan continues to lead. Kim Johnson. But she's being preserved now by Claudia Franco of Stanford. And it's Taylor Bendel on the anchor for Michigan. Catherine Fox for Stanford. Fox trying to chase her down.
Catherine Fox swims most of the 100 freestyle underwater. She's using that strong dolphin kick to make a move on Taylor Budd from Michigan.
Michigan still with the lead. 50 yards to go. Taylor Bendel trying to hold off the talented freshman from Stanford, Catherine Fox.
Catherine Fox making moves. Bendel looks tired going into the last turn. Fox has great turns. Look for her to come up ahead.
Final 25 yards. Fox is pulled even. Stanford and Michigan. And Fox is going to win it for the Cardinal.
And that is a great pride swim for Stanford University. And with the event, the 400 freestyle relay, 3:16.72, and that was just a fabulous last 2 legs by Claudia Franco and Catherine Fox for Stanford. But here is our champions.
So the USC Trojans and Mark Schubert celebrating the Trojans breaking the 5-year dominance of the Stanford Cardinal. Yes, indeed, they have done it. The new NCAA champions from Southern Cal. The final standings, USC wins its first ever NCAA championship in women's swimming and diving. Stanford, SMU, Arizona, and Georgia rounding out the top 5. 6 through 10, Michigan, Auburn, Nebraska, California, and Texas. Let's go down now to Cynthia Potter. Cynthia?
It was a fabulous win, Mark. A lot of people said this was going to be an upset. I want to know whether you thought it was an upset.
Well, I really felt we had the personnel, but we were going to need some big swims, and I think it was terrific for our seniors, Hope Giddings and Christine Quantz, that really kind of kicked our program off 4 years ago, and I'm so glad it happened while they're still at USC.
Well, you have quite a talent to not only put a team together, but to coach them to championships, even when you don't have a full contingent. How do you do that?
Well, we knew that at this meet that a lot of the depth from other teams would be knocked out, and we just need to stand up and swim quality, and they did that.
So it wasn't necessarily depth that wins the NCAAs, it's quality as well.
Well, and quite frankly, I can't believe that we won the meet without winning a relay, and I think that's a testament to the fact that there's a lot of parity and a lot of good teams at this meet.
Congratulations at USC.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. USC led by the great 1-2 punch of Christine Quantz and Lindsay Banco, who scored 57 points apiece. Mary, final thoughts?
Well, I think Mark Schubert said it best when he said that there's parity in women's swimming now. They only won it by 11 points, so next year it's anybody's game, but still a great win for USC.
Our congratulations to the USC Trojans. They break the Stanford 5 straight NCAA championship winning streak.